Assalamu alaikum. How are you, Sheikh? May Allah grant you a long life. What is the ruling if a woman bleeds after consummation of the marriage? Can she still pray if she is bleeding? Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah give us long lives upon his obedience. Ameen. May Allah be of those who have good long lives that are full with obedience and not just long life. Ameen. As far as the question, then it all depends on what type of bleeding it is. The first scenario is, did the woman know that her menses were coming? And this is something that some women do. Be careful. Some women, they will do this. They will make a marriage. They won't plan it for the proper time. They know the menses is coming. They know the period is coming, but perhaps it won't come. Perhaps it will. Let me just, consummate the marriage and then deal with it. No. You have to plan the time. Your menses come in the beginning of every month for 5 days. So it makes sense to make the nikah on the 7th day of the month. Not the 5th day, not the 6th day, but the what? The 7th day. Give yourself padding, extra time for the mens to go away, and you're pure and you're clean. Everybody understand this? If your menses normally come in the middle of every month for 4 days, you should not do the nikah on the 15th day of the month. Everybody understand this? If your menses come at the end of the month, then you should do the nikah at what? So you have to plan ahead of time. As far as if it wasn't intentional, then that's one thing. As far as the blood may not be the blood of menses. It depends on what type of woman it is. Do you have a normal menstrual cycle or is it irregular? If you have an irregular menstrual cycle, then it goes to the details that we explained. Can you distinguish between the types of blood, the days, your family members, your mother, your aunt, the other women in your family, the back pains, your emotions, your feelings, so on and so forth? Now, everybody understand this? We explained this before. So it depends on the sister. So if the sister knows that this mens is irregular, then she is to consider herself to be mustahada. It's irregular bleeding, prolonged bleeding. It's not the blood of menses. And if it isn't the blood of menses, then you are to consider yourself like a normal woman. Make salah, fast. And some of the ulama, such as Imam Ahmad and of Ibn Baz, of the current ulama, some of them, they say that she can have vaginal sexual intercourse with her husband after she makes sure she cleans herself in a necessary manner. And other ulama, they held the view that even the mustahada, even though she can pray, she can fast, she can make tawaf, she can touch the Mushaf al-Sharif, that she can't have vaginal intercourse with her husband. They say even she's considered pure, she cannot have vaginal sexual intercourse with her husband. However, those ulama, they said that if she's pure in other things, then she's pure in this regard as well. And it's a hardship for a husband never ever to be able to have sex with her. Everybody understand this? So therefore, it depends, as we said, on the sister. If you know your menstrual cycle, that's one thing. If you don't know your menstrual cycle, then that's a different story. And it depends on how old the woman is. A girl that's 19 years old, 16 years old, is not like a woman who's 30. A girl who has a mens for the first, second time is not like a woman who's been mensing for 10 years. So it depends on the situation. If it was an accident, if it was the menstruation, it was an accident, no, there's no sin. If it was a what? If it was an accident, there's no what? There's no sin. If you did it intentionally, both of you make tawbah. Repent to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everybody understand this? As far as can she pray if she's bleeding, if it's the blood of menses? No, obviously. As the Prophet ﷺ said, مَا رَأَيْتُ مِن نَاقِصَاتِ عَقْلٍ وَدِينٍ أَذْهَبَ لِلُرْبِ رَجُلِ حَزْمٍ مِنْ إِحْدَاكُنْ. He says, وَمَا نُقْصَانُ دِينِهَا قَالَ أَلَيْسَ إِذَا حَاضَتْ لَمْ تُصَلِّ وَلَمْ تَصُمْ. He said that these women who are deficient and lacking in deen and intellect, and from the deficiency of their deen, and when he was asked, he says when she menses, she doesn't pray, she doesn't fast. So if it menses, then obviously she's not praying. If it's irregular bleeding, then we said yes. If it's irregular, then she is considered to be a pure woman. She should clean herself, wear the necessary sanitary attire or things. When it's time for the salah, once it's time for the salah, the adhan has come, make wudu, make the salah. If you wish to make dhuhr and asr together, you can do that. If you wish to make maghrib and isha together, you can do that. If you have the ability to make a ghusl for every salah, then that's even better. Wallahu alam. Hopefully that's clear.